Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fan Interference with Wichita Wingnuts manager Pete Rose Jr. Fan Interference is a weekly program that gives you, the fans, the opportunity to share your comments and questions with the Wichita manager about baseball, sports in general, or just seek Pete's wisdom about life events that are going on out there. In this week's program, Pete talks to us about the starts of Jon Link. He shares with us some baseball insights, and why does Pete like messing up Josh Robertson's desk? Let's find out on Fan Interference. Well, let us welcome back manager Pete Rose Jr. Pete, let's first of all begin with team updates you have for us.
Team updates, we put Matt Harvey, pitcher on the DL. He's got a little strain underneath, a little lat strain. We had released Drew Taylor. Just arm didn't come back as quick as we expected. Matt Chavez went on the inactive list. He had got hit by a ground ball, so he's going to be maybe down for another, maybe 3 weeks to a month. And then Capra kind of pulled his hamstring the other night, so we put him on the inactive list as well. So other than that, we're limping into Kansas City, but we'll throw it out there tonight, and then we'll see if we can't get a win.
You bring Chase Johnson back to Wichita. Tell me a little bit about what you were looking for from him.
I tell you what, it was the first time I've ever met and seen Chase, and I've heard nothing but great things about him. Competitor, goes out there, fastball, changeup, slider, got a really good changeup. I guess he had been in Wichita in 14, the year they had won the American Association. So, he pitched twice and actually did a really great job both times he pitched. So, I got a great first and second impression of him, but, I just marvel on how good of a guy he is and, how well it was received in the clubhouse. So, we were just looking, we need some arms. We're a little down in the bullpen, with some guys hurt, and, now we're down a starter with Cap, hurting his hamstring. So, we're going to try to find some guys and get them in here and try to fill that need as quick as we can.
That's excellent. Well, let us head to our fan questions this week, Pete. So we first of all begin with Tim from Mays, who wants to know, is it hard to stay positive with your team struggling as they are early on?
No, not at all. With it, and if you listen to the show the past 2 or 3 times, I think everybody knows how I feel about these guys, and that's what makes it so positive. It's not like we're getting blown out of the water every night and we're showing up to the ballpark with one arm tied behind our back. I go through the league, and I won't trade any of my players for any of anybody else's players. You go position to position with our team, and I love what I see. It's just a funk, like I said, and we just got to keep battling. But these guys, they make it easy to stay positive. But when you see the good things that these guys are capable of doing and that are going to do, it's super easy to stay positive. Am I disappointed? I'm more disappointed for our fans more than anything. I know they're used to winning, but I think that winning tradition will come back here hopefully really quick.
Sam from Wichita would like to know if you think Jon Link's last start means that he is back in his usual form.
I'll tell you what, I think his start in Fargo was him getting back to being himself. His first 2 starts, he kind of cramped up in his forearm, being a little dehydrated, the first couple times out. But, am I worried about Jon Link? Not at all. I don't think anybody else should be. But, yes, he's definitely getting back to his form. He threw great in front of his wife and 2 kids were in, so that was great for him to do that. But, we've seen that, I saw the Jon Link that I'm going to be accustomed to seeing in Fargo on that Sunday before we got back, and then it just carried over to, the other night in Wichita. So, yes, I definitely think, he's going to get back to what he does best.
A person who chose to be anonymous wanted to know, he says he understands that you like to pick at Josh Robertson with his need to have everything in order. What has been his reaction?
I think he hates me for it, but I don't really care just because, I listen at home and everything. I'm neat, but I'm not over the top neat. So I try to, anytime or any chance I get to mess something up, either in his office or in the locker room, whatever it is, I try to do my best at doing that. I think at one point or at some point during the season or shortly after before I head back to Cincinnati. I'm just going to go in there and just dive on his desk and just hopefully everything goes on the ground. So, but I make it a point every time I'm down there just to, maybe not just leave it looking as nice as when I came into his office. So we'll leave it at that.
I hope the day that you do that you stick one of those like nanny cams in his office for his reaction when he comes back.
I'm either going to do that or I'm just going to wear a body cam and we can post it and we can get a GoPro going. But yeah, absolutely.
Harold from Derby would like to know how frustrating it is when your players seem to be hitting the ball really well, but outs are all that comes out of it. It seemed like they hit the ball so well in these last couple of series, but the result was just nothing but long outs.
Frustrated, no. I was taught at a young age you can hit it, you can't guide it, so we're just going to keep on hitting it, and they'll fall. And yesterday Gary had a couple, really softer, so to speak, hits, and that's part of the game. But we're just going to keep lining out, and if the guys just keep hitting the ball hard the way they have been, and they've been doing it all year, hits and runs and everything they'll fall in. But I'm not frustrated. I'd be frustrated if we were striking out, every other bat and not doing what we're supposed to do at the plate. But it goes along with the first question. Frustrated? No, you can't at all. You just got to keep letting these guys go out and do it and try to stay out of the way. But we're swinging the bats really well, and it's a tribute to all their hard work that they put in the cage and batting practice. And, it's a really a statement to those guys in the locker room on really how hard they work at their craft.
A lot of the guys talk to me about the fact of one of the parts about baseball you have to really kind of mentally get yourself prepared for is you could do everything right and still get nothing out of it.
Exactly. You're exactly right. I mean, you can hit the hardest ball you ever hit in your entire life, and you can hit it right back to the pitcher, and he catches it, and you got to make a left turn and head back to the dugout. So it's the whole thing is it's a game of inches. But it's a really mentally draining game, and I think our guys have done a really good job as far as staying positive and understanding that hey, three out of 10 times if you get a base hit, you're above average. So I think that's how you look at it. But we just try to go out there and give good at bats and go out there and battle and compete. And these guys have been doing that. And I think like I said, they've been working their tails off, and that's why they're so successful at the plate. Plus, they can hit, they can really swing the bat.
Ken from Wichita would like to know why Luke Robertson takes so long to reach the mound when he comes out of the dugout to talk to the pitcher. Is that by design, or is he just trying to give the pitcher a little longer break?
I think he's trying to get TV time, but I don't know if he understands that we're not on TV. No. Luke's great. If you ever watch pitching, now if you watch me go out to a mountain, I'll go out and talk to him. I won't probably be as slow as the pitching coaches, but it's just designed to get out there in as least time as possible, just because 9 out of 10 times you're kind of just going out there to give your pitcher a breather. You wait for the umpire to come out, and then you maybe sit there and ask him how he's doing, what he had for lunch, and where he's going after the game, and then he'll finally kick you off, and then you kind of try to walk back as slow as you can. And it's just all designed to give your pitcher time to rest and catch his breath and get back to doing what they do.
I think that's the coolest little stroll that there is in the league, for sure.
Oh, exactly. Sure, exactly. I mean, that's it's funny. I told my guys, listen, if you get hurt on the field, if I got to come out of the dugout just because I have a titanium left knee, I said, if I come out of the dugout, you're coming off the field. So don't make me walk. Harry Kane got a little banged up yesterday at first base and, or fouled a ball off his foot. I'm not going out there for that. So I'll be in the dugout. I'm not going to take the cool strolls. We'll leave those up to Luke.
Tammy from Bel Air comments. She says those Laredo Leavers seem kind of rude. Just saying.
No, I mean, I'll tell you, I heard horror stories about it, and I just, I just don't pay it any mind. I just, we can only control what we can control, and they're going to do what they want to do, and like I said, if that's how, they got a really solid team. I mean, there's no two ways around it. I mean, you got to tip your hat. I mean, they came in and played us well and beat us. What 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 3 or whatever it was, but. I don't know. I mean, maybe because they beat us, they're rude. I don't know. But, I mean, they actually have some really good guys on their team, with Phipps and Martinez. I think it's Abel Martinez. Yeah, Abel and Travis, the third base. I mean, just great guys. But and even Pete. I mean, I got to spend some time with Pete, and I haven't seen him in a while, and it was great to catch up with him. But I think they're maybe a little bit more ruder when they beat us 3 out of 4 as opposed to us beating them 3 out of 4. But they got a solid team, and you got to tip their hat for coming into our place and win the series like that. So we'll work on that. Let's just put it that way.
Mike from Goddard asks, I don't see many guys that know how to bunt for a base hit anymore. Is that a lost art, do you think?
Bunting is definitely a lost art, and if you think about it, speed in the game is a lost art. There's not a lot of speed players anymore, and I think that's why you see less of guys bunting for base hits. Gary might be the only team in the league that you see sacrifices all the time. I'm an old school guy. I don't get that. But as far as bunting, I want our guys to hit because, if you want to get out of the American Association and get back into affiliated ball, you got to swing the bat. I mean, scouts don't come and look for guys that can bunt. They come in the guys that can hit. And, when you get the organization, you bunt in the minor leagues, but, if you watch a big league game, I think maybe the pitchers are probably the only ones that bunt. So, it is a lost art, and it's, it's a part of the game, that and infield's kind of taking a back seat to, batting practice and the 3-run homer. So, but a lot of people don't bunt anymore. I mean, we don't work on it as much as I guess we should, but, guys at this age in this league, if they don't know how to bunt by now, they're probably, not even worth trying to learn how to bunt just because you got to bunt when you're a little kid starting off just to kind of get the feel of it.
Tom from Chicago would like to know if you were surprised by how well the Chicago White Sox have played this season.
No, I mean, not really. I mean, they got a good core of guys. I mean, you have Abreu and Cabrera and Eaton. Then you had Todd Frazier in too. You got Saladino there. You had Lowry. I mean, you got horses in the starting rotation with Sale and Quintana. No, not at all. I mean, they've had a good team that even when I was over there, and it just seemed like something was missing, and maybe that's the Todd father, Todd Frazier, and maybe he can lead them to another World Series championship. But no, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, they play good defense, they swing the bat, and like I said, they're pitching solid. I mean, you got some really good pitchers on that staff. That's not maybe one of the best in baseball in Sale. So they got a chance. I mean, they got a chance to do some serious damage this year.
Craig from Andover asked, wouldn't it be cool to have Madison Bumgarner hit in the home run hitting contest in the All-Star game?
I think it would be. I mean, but on the other hand, if he's pitching for me in Wichita, and every time he picks up a bat, I'm just going to tackle him and just try to get the bat out of his hands because it'll be cool until he goes into that home run derby and blows out an oblique or something like that, and then he misses 6 or 7 starts, but. Hey, he's got a great swing, and they showed that last night on ESPN to where I would be all for it. I would love to see it, and I think he would go out there and compete just the type of person he is and the type of way he plays. I think he'd give anybody a run for their money, so I would love to see it.
Heading on into a couple of football questions for you. First of all, Chiefs fan says, I hate to tell you, Pete, but this is the year for the Kansas City Chiefs. Go Chiefs.
I think he meant who day, all day, every day. Who day. Cincinnati Bengals, what, 2016-17? Yeah, who day. Right, that was a great question, though. So we'll stick with the who day all day.
DeAndre from Wichita says, Pete, please tell us that you're a Cowboys hater.
I mean, I'm a Bengal fan. So, I mean, do I like the Cowboys? Okay, I don't like the Cowboys. I hate the Steelers. We can get that out in the open. That's one team I do hate, but if it makes our fans in Wichita happy, I'll go with that. I mean, that works for me. But if you really want to get an answer, I mean, just ask me about the Steelers, and I'll tell you that I hate the Steelers. So, sure, we'll go with that one. That works for me.
Is that true of the Ravens as well?
To be honest with you, it's just the Steelers. I mean, I don't listen. When we play the Ravens are a great team. I love watching Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and their defenses play. But it's not like playing the Steelers, and I think it's obviously it's a jealousy thing because they win all the time. And, if when you live in Cincinnati, you're a Bengal fan, you want to beat the Steelers, and that's really our goal every year. Kind of like, the guy just asked me about the Cowboys fan. Maybe they want to beat Dallas every year, like the Giants, New York Giants. But the Ravens, they've been good, but it's not like the Steelers. Steeler week is a little something different. There's just a little something different in the air. You start, spitting on people's cars that have the Steeler decals on, and giving dirty looks at people with stupid Steeler shirts on. So, but the Ravens are okay. Cleveland's okay, but it's just the Steelers.
There's some warning for you fans out there in Wichita. Steelers fans. Don't want to be spitting on you. Okay.
That's right. No, it'll be on your truck. Just don't have the decals on your truck.
Sean from Park City says, being an Ohio kid, are you expecting LeBron to bring a championship to Cleveland?
I really hope so, but I mean, you gotta realize something. Cincinnati is at the southwest, and Cleveland's up north. So, my son loves Klay Thompson, and reasoning is, I was with Trace Thompson when we were at the White Sox, and Trace had got me and my son and my wife and my daughter. We got tickets to go watch Golden State play against Phoenix back in spring training. So he's been a Golden State fan for God knows how long. But I wear LeBron stuff, so I love his stuff. I love his shoes. I'm a big Nike guy. I'm a big sneakerhead. I'm a big gear guy. But I got a lot of LeBron shirts, LeBron T-shirts, shoes, socks, backpacks, all that good jazz. I would love for him to win a championship. I think that, he's put in the work, and, the guy's been to the finals in I don't know how many straight years, but they got a big hill to come back from being down 2-0, and Golden State's really good. I mean, they've just been clicking on all cylinders since day one. So I hope he does, but it's a long battle back. But if anybody can come from that, I think LeBron can do it. So I got my fingers crossed, but my son's rooting for Golden State.
Steve with an interesting question for you. He says, Mr. Rose, parents are ruining my baseball season already by arguing about everything. What are some suggestions you would give us kids to get them to back off and let us enjoy playing the game?
If they're talking about umpires, you can never get the call changed. So it's not really worth arguing over calls. I don't know if you've watched any of our games, but I'm not a big. I don't really get on the umpires. Every single pitch. Every time. Where's that? I'm not that guy. Just because if you do that, you're never going to get a call. But they just never change it. And as far as parents, parents got to realize the game's hard. So you're going to strike out. You're going to make errors. You're going to make crazy, stupid plays. You're going to mess up. And that's just kind of part of learning the game, being young. So, instead of yelling, why not encourage them and, tell them if they're going to make a mistake to go out and do it aggressively. And, hey, if you're going to strike out, make it be your best strikeout. Hey, you make an error, hey, go make another one. But as far as yelling at umpires, if that's what he's talking about, just tell them, hey, they're not going to change the call, and you're probably not going to get the next call and the next call after that. So I would just tell them, hey, why don't you just start, being supportive and being positive, and do what Mr. Rose does. Mr. Rose just tries to stay out of the way and let those guys play, and that's really all I do. Just try to stay out of the way and let those guys go play and have fun. But that's the most important thing you have to have when you're playing the game of baseball, is having fun. So hopefully those parents will back off and they can continue to go out and have some fun.
That's excellent advice. Mary from Wichita asked, she said she heard that I had asked the manager in Kansas City, John Massarelli, what kind of special skill he has that no one knew about. So she wants to know, what is your special skill?
Oh, special skill. Oh, my goodness. I don't really, I can cook. I mean, I guess maybe that's a special skill. God, I can hit. I mean, I know I can hit, so that might be my special skill. But like a goofy kind of, I really don't have any hobbies, just because I'm just I like to call myself just a stay-at-home dad. Man, I don't really have any special. I got a lot of skills, but I just don't really have any grilling. How about that? We'll go with grilling. My special skill is being able to go out and get on the grill and grill some stuff up. We'll go with that one.
What's your favorite thing to grill up?
Steak. I can grill a meat steak. I can make a great hot dog. I can make great bison burger. Bison burger. There you go. That's my favorite thing to grill.
Oh, on steak night, I may be coming to the Rose House. I'm gonna have to keep that.
Come on over. Anytime you're in town, you're more than welcome. It'll be a good meal, unless we go with chicken teriyaki bowls, which those are probably my specialty. If you ask my wife, because she probably likes that the best.
Oh, I can't argue with either one of those for sure.
Yes, exactly.
Ian from Benton says he heard you talking in last week's show about the long bus rides. What do you do to pass the time?
I sit in my seat. It's miserable. I mean, it's I'm a big music guy, so I try to listen to as much music as I can. FaceTiming with the kids, just talking to the bus driver. I usually get up and stand down by where the bus driver is, just because the seats are uncomfortable and it's such a long trip to where we have a sleeper bus, but I don't have to play the next day, so I'm going to make sure the kids have a bed and they can get their rest. But it's really tough, man. I thank God that our trainer Tyler, I get to talk to him. He kind of stay awake with me, but I'll get around, surf on the internet a little bit, but it's tough. It's really tough to just kind of pass the time, especially when you got these long rides. So I just kind of walk around and just kind of listen to music and just kind of, I don't know, just sit there and look at the road and just hope the time goes by quicker. Occasionally look over at the navigation system. Oh, only got 11 hours to go, so back to beat myself in the head, figuring out why am I on this bus. But it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, a lot of guys can sleep on the bus. I've just never been one of those guys that could sleep on the bus. So I was always, as a player, I'd go up and stand next to the bus driver, where I can stretch out and just kind of just shoot the crap. And I'm always running my mouth somehow, some way. So I guess I would say just talking to the bus driver and just doing nothing.
I would think some of those areas you're traveling in, you're like, wow, look, corn, and then look,
yeah,
more corn, and then more corn.
Exactly. And then what's that? That's darkness. And what's that? Well, here the sun's coming up. Yeah, there you go. But there's still more corn. You're exactly right.
Oh, next up we have Adam from Kansas City, who says, is your dad as competitive when he plays other things? Like if the two of you were playing chess, would he be as fired up to beat you?
First of all, neither one of us would play chess because we're baseball players, so neither one of us know how to play chess. But yes, he is competitive just like I am. We both hate to lose. My son hates to lose. So yes, he definitely is very competitive, and if we would do anything, he would definitely try to beat me, and likewise, I would try to beat him as well. But yes, he is definitely very, very competitive.
Our last question comes from boyfriend who needs help. He says, I need some advice. My girlfriend thinks I am not romantic enough. What are some suggestions you have for us young guys?
Oh, romantic. God, I mean, I've been off the market for 20-something years, so, maybe cook a nice dinner, but cook a nice dinner, maybe, maybe go to a movie. I mean, I think, a lot of people these days, they just kind of, maybe shut down the phones for a night. Don't go any kind of tablet or phone, and just, maybe cook her dinner and have a nice bottle of wine and, maybe a night out on the town, maybe go see a show or something. Rita's Italian Ice, that's always a plus. I mean, you can go get a, mango and strawberry or Swedish fish side by side with custard on the top and bottom. I mean, that's always romantic. So, I would say cook her dinner. I think that's kind of romantic. Or maybe, if it's like a main girlfriend, maybe make her breakfast in bed, or send her some flowers, take her out to lunch. You could always take her a pita from Pita Pit. That would be all right. I mean, that's kind of romantic. But I'd definitely stick with the dinner. Cook her dinner and maybe go to Rita's for a little dessert and, have maybe a glass of wine for a nightcap.
Does Pete have a great steak recipe he'd like to share for our boyfriend and me?
Let's see. Steak recipe, I'll tell you what, I would get some strip steaks and just throw them on the grill. I'm a big salad guy, so make a nice salad. Just, you can get a bag of salad, go with some cheese, cut up some grape tomatoes. I'm a big Olive Garden Italian dressing kind of guy, so you can just say you made it, but just get it out of the bottle, pour it on top of there, get a nice thing of bread, maybe a French baguette at Dillon's, pop it in the oven, warm it up. You got a little steak, you got a little salad, and if you want to go baked potato, I'd go baked sweet potato. That's always one of my wife's favorites. So if you go that route, I think you'll definitely be right where you need to be.
Then you'll be on the romantic side for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Well,
so next time, ask me how to hit a baseball as opposed to being romantic. It's been a while, so I think I have better insight to hitting that little white round ball as opposed to trying to figure out how to get him locked in. But I think you're on your way if you go that route.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us this week, Pete.
Oh, okay. Have a good day, man. We'll see you.
We want to thank Pete for joining us on Fan Interference this week. If you have your own questions you'd like to pose to the Wichita Wingnuts manager, please send them to us at askpete@minorleaguesportsreport.com. That's askpete@minorleaguesportsreport.com. Please have your questions to us by Sunday evening so we can give Pete a little time to review them before we record the show. I want to thank you for joining us this week. I'm Rob Pannier, the managing editor of the Minor League Sports Report, and we'll see you next time on Fan Interference.